Hi guys, this is going to be the tutorial that's going to show you how to make these popcorn clusters. To do this stitch, you can use any size yarn and any size hook that yarn recommends. I'm using worsted weight yarn, which is 4-ply for the US, 10-ply for Australia, and I'm using a 5mm hook or a size H hook for the US. The multiples of this stitch is 10. So all you have to do is just chain in sets of 10 until you reach your desired width. And I recommend don't use less than 30 because it looks weird. I mean, you could try it, but I'm going to try it with 30. And I believe that's about what I used. No, I think I used 40 on this piece here. So yeah, maybe if you wanted to use a scarf, but it may end on a thing like this. Anyway, I would say minimal 30. Okay, I've done my multiples of 10. Now I want to start my row 1. For row 1, you want to start by double crocheting in the 5th chain from the hook. So let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in this 5th chain. So we're going to go ahead and yarn over, put a double crochet into that chain space. Now you want to put a double crochet in the next 4 chains as well. So you'll have 5 double crochets in a row. So in the next 4 chains, put 1 double crochet. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now you have 5 double crochets in a row, and you have this chain here on the end. Now you want to skip 2 stitches, and then the 3rd chain over here, you want to put a double crochet. We're going to be creating our V-stitch, and the V-stitches in this pattern will be double crochet, chain 3, double crochet, and it'll all be worked in the same stitch. So we got our first double crochet, so now we want to chain 3, and then in that same stitch we want to put another double crochet, and that's our what you call a V-stitch, that little triangle. Then you want to skip 2 again, and then the 3rd one over you want to start your double crochets, and there'll be 5 double crochets in a row. So again, in the next 4 you want to put a double crochet in each one of those chains, for a total of 5 in a row. So if you just want to count how many double crochets you have, I have 4, so I need 1 more. 5 double crochets in a row here. Now again, we're going to repeat this for the row. You'll do your V-stitch, and then you'll do 5 double crochets in a row. And again, to do the V-stitch, you're going to skip 2, and then the 3rd one over, you're going to do your double crochet, chain 3, and double crochet. And then you'll skip 2 before starting your 5 double crochets in a row again. At the end of the row, there should be 6 double crochets in a row, but that's only for the very end of your row. When you come to the end, you'll do your 5, which is part of the pattern, and then to end the row, you just end it with a double crochet. But if you look at it, it's just 6 double crochets in a row. So just go ahead and, when you get to the end of your row, double crochet all the way to the end, and then count to make sure that you have 6, which I do, so that means that it's correct. You just continue that down the row, and then I'll see you when you get to the end of the row, and I'll show you how to do row 2. Okay, for row 2, you'll begin by chaining 3 and turning. Oops, I'm a little low. I tried to zoom in a little bit because I'm going to be showing you popcorns this row. Okay, so chain 3, and this chain 3 will count as your first stitch of the row. So you're going to skip this very first double crochet, and you're going to be working a double crochet in your 5 double crochets that you have left. So skipping the very first one, and if you have trouble finding it, you can count from this very first double crochet here and count back 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you know that's your first stitch that needs to be worked. 1, 2, Whoops. Trying to make sure I stay in camera so I'm not looking at my project. Okay, last double crochets here. Oops. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and plus the chain 3 at the beginning, and that brings us up to our V-stitch. Now in the V-stitch, this row, the double crochets will all be worked the same. You'll always put a double crochet in your double crochets here, your 5 double crochets. And the V-stitches, this row, we're going to be working our popcorn stitches. And the popcorn stitches are going to be made up of 4 double crochets. So working in the V-stitch itself in this chain 3 space, you're going to work 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And how you turn these 4 double crochets into a popcorn stitch is that you're going to flip your work around to the back and then find your very first double crochet, which is here for me, and you want to stick your hook into that first double crochet that you did, and then you're going to slip stitch. So pull yarn through the stitch and then through the loop on your hook, and then turn it back around. Now we're going to go ahead and chain 1 because it makes this easier to move. Now we're going to move the popcorn stitch over, and then again, because you're going to be working 3 of these in this V-stitch, so you need to make another 4 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4. Flip your work to the back, find that very first double crochet, which is this one, stick your hook through that stitch, and then just slip stitch. Pull it through the stitch, pull it through your loop, and then turn. I didn't chain after my popcorn stitches when I did this. If you can get away with not chaining, then don't, because it'll make your popcorn stay closer together, which gives it a better effect. So I'm not going to chain 1. I'm just going to pull it over, giving me a little bit room. I can put 1 more popcorn stitch here. So I'm going to yarn over, go right into that chain 3 space again, and start my next 4 double crochets for my last popcorn stitch. 3 and 4. Flip it over, find that first stitch, and then slip stitch, and then turn your work back around. And that's your first set of 3 popcorns. You got a cluster of them now, so that's a popcorn cluster. So now you want to find your next set of 5 double crochets. So go ahead and yarn over, go into your first double crochet and do a double crochet. Then do a double crochet in your next 4 as well. My screen is falling asleep here. Okay, now you got your 5, so I'm going to show you again how to do these popcorns. Yarn over, go into your V-stitch here, and you're going to put 4 double crochets in that V-stitch. 2, 3, and 4. Flip your work around, find that first double crochet, put your hook in, and slip stitch. Turn your work back around, grab your stitch if you want, pull it over, then start your next 4 double crochets in your V-stitch. 2, 3, and 4. Turn it around, slip stitch, turn it around, pull your work. Now you have room for 4 more double crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Flip your work around. Find that first. I just find the space. You can feel the popcorn from back here, so I just find the space beside it, and then you can easily find that first double crochet that way to slip stitch into, and then turn, and there's your second one. Now you're going to double crochet in the last 6. So you're going to put a double crochet in each of the 5, and then you'll also put a double crochet in the top of the chain 3 to end your row, for a total of 6 double crochets to end your row. So you want to continue to do this all the way down your row, and I'll see you when you get done with the end of row 2. Okay, I just got done. And see, I did a set of 30, and I have my 2 puff stitches in the middle. If I had only done a chain of 20, I would essentially just end here. So basically the multiples is 10 plus 10, but it's only if you do it odd, because if you did 20, so I guess it's multiples of 10, but try to stay in an odd number. So 30, 60, you know, that. Stay with 90. So stay with an odd number. That way your 2 cluster popcorns, or your popcorn clusters, will be in the center of whatever you're making. So that was the end of row 2. So for row 3, we're going to begin with a chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Oh, by the way, the repeats on this is going to be from rows 2 through 5. So last row was the first row of the repeat. This is the second row of the repeat, if you want to look and see where you are in the video. Okay, so we chain 3 and we turn. Okay, now we're going to go down 1 row here and count. You want to be working in the 4th double crochet over. So if you want to, you can just count 1, 2, 3, 4. So this 4th double crochet here is what we're going to be working in. And we're going to be putting a V-stitch in there. So go ahead and yarn over. You can count 1, 2, 3, 4 in this 4th one here. And do a double crochet. And then, like before on our V-stitches, we did a chain of 3 and then double crochet again in that same stitch. Now we're going to be working our set of 5 double crochets, but now you're going to be working them into the popcorn. So you want to find this first popcorn here, and if you put your thumb through it, you can see that there's a hole that was created whenever we turned our work over, and then we find that one, the very first double crochet, and we pull the slip stitch. It creates a hole, because basically all we did was just folded our double crochets in half and then connected it up here, but it leaves this fold of the stitch, and this is the stitch you're going to be using. So you can go ahead and yarn over, go under, and come out through that little hole I was telling you about, and then pull up a loop and then do your double crochet. You want to put 2 in this very first one here. So I'm going to yarn over, go back under, and get my second one worked out of that hole in the popcorn stitch. Now you want to move to your second one, and you only want to put 1 in there. So yarn over, put 1 double crochet through that popcorn, top of the popcorn. Now you've got 1 more left here. Where is it? Oh, there we go. Okay, so I'm going to put 2 double crochets on this side too. So 1 and 2. So now we have our 5 double crochets again. 2 worked in the first, 1 in the middle, and 2 in the last. 5 double crochets. Now in the next 5 double crochets we have here, we're going to be working our V-stitch in the middle of the 5. So you want to skip 2 double crochets, and in the 3rd double crochet you want to work your V-stitch, which again is double crochet, chain 3, double crochet. So that's how you're going to be working your sets of 5 double crochets. You're always going to be putting a V-stitch in the center of your 5 double crochets, and then in your popcorns you're going to be working 2 double crochets in the first popcorn, 1 double crochet in the middle, and then 2 double crochets in the 3rd popcorn. So go ahead and continue this down your row, and I'm going to show you here, once I take a look at it, how to end. Okay, so I need my second double crochet in this one, which brings me to my very last. When you get here at the end of the row and you have your 5 double crochets and the chain here on the end, again, you're going to skip the first 2 and do your V-stitch, double crochet, chain 3, double crochet, which leaves 2 double crochets and the chain here on the end. And you want to skip the 2 double crochets and then just double crochet in the top of your chain 3 to end your row 3. Okay, for row 4, and I believe this is true, yes, you'll always chain 3 at the beginning of your row. So chain 3 and turn. It looks kind of off here. I don't think I put my double crochet in the right space when I ended my row. Well, I did. Or maybe, no, actually I didn't. Still looks weird. Well, if yours looks like mine, maybe you can get away with putting a double crochet here in the middle chain of the ending chain 3. Yeah, that looks better for me. Okay, so anyway, for row 1, 2, 3. For row 4, like I said before, you're always going to chain 3 and turn after every row. And with row 4, we're going to start right off the bat with our V-stitch being right here. So we're going to start our popcorn stitches right there. So go ahead and yarn over, go in that V-stitch and start double crocheting 4. And 4. And then again, you're going to turn to the back, slip stitch to make your popcorn, flip it back around, move it out of the way, and then continue down. I'll go ahead and finish this and then I'll meet you back here in a second. Okay, when you've done your 3 clusters here, you see these double crochets we worked in our previous cluster here are 5 double crochets. You're going to just be putting 1 double crochet in each of those 5. So we're going to get our 5 double crochets back again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then once you've got your 5 double crochets again, it brings you back up to your next V-stitch where you'll be working your popcorn cluster in those. So put your popcorn clusters in your V-stitches like before and work your 5 double crochets in these 5 double crochets here. And I'll see you after your last popcorn cluster at the end to show you how to end row 4. You know, I was just thinking while I'm sitting here crocheting in front of the camera, off camera, that when you do stitches like this, it kind of becomes mindless. And I always like to watch stuff while I crochet. So I'm curious, what kinds of things do you like to watch? Or what has been some of your favorite things that you've watched while you crocheted? I still remember some Afghans that I made, and I still remember some of the movies or shows I was watching while I was crocheting the Afghan. So comment down below and let me know what are some of the things that you like to watch or some of the favorite things that you've watched while you crochet. Okay, just finished my popcorn cluster here on the end, and I have my ending chain 3 here, and you put a double crochet in the top of the chain 3. But I think again I'm going to go ahead and put it in the middle chain, not the top, because it just seems to pull it more over to the side. And that is it. That ends row 4. Okay, for row 5, and this will be the final row of your repeats. So for row 5, again, you're going to chain 3 and turn. And right here off the bat, we have our double crochet clusters, and we're going to work from the back of the clusters always the same. You're going to be working 2 double crochets in your first popcorn, 1 double crochet in the middle, and 2 double crochets in your third. So go ahead and find that stitch here, middle of your popcorn. You can hold it with your fingers while you work your 2 double crochets inside there. It makes it easier for me. And I find my second, put 1 double crochet in that middle one, and then my third, I'm going to put 2 in this last one here, and the third. Okay, Now it brings you back up to your 5 again, and we're going to be creating our V-stitches. So you're going to skip these two, the first 2 double crochets, and you're going to work your V-stitch in the middle double crochet, which is double crochet, chain 3, double crochet, all in the same stitch. And then again, you're going to skip these next 2 double crochets and go right into working your 2 double crochets in your first cluster, 1 double crochet in the middle, and 2 double crochets in the last, and then move over again, skip 2, V-stitch, and you're going to continue this down your row. And go ahead and do that, and I'll come back and show you how to end row 5. Okay, I just got done putting my 5 double crochets worked into my popcorn here, and again I'm at my very end, chain 3, and again I'm going to go ahead and put a double crochet in the middle chain. If it works for you to put it in the top chain, then do so, but I seem to be getting a flatter side by doing in the middle. And that's it. That ends row 5. And again, you're going to chain 3 and turn, and you'll be working your 5 double crochets just like you did here at the very beginning. For row 2, you started with your 5 double crochets, and then you did your popcorn. You're going to be doing the same thing here, 5 double crochets, and then working your popcorn cluster here. If you need to back up to row 2, then I'll take you through the whole thing again. So that's it, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please don't forget to click like and share this video. It helps me out so much. Also, if you always want to be notified whenever I release a new video, there's that little bell button next to the subscribe button on my main YouTube page. If you click that, it'll always notify you when I release a new tutorial. If you're wondering what kind of hook that I was using here, it's a wooden furls hook. It's what they call it. And there's also a new one that they've added called Streamline, which is a bit longer. But I recommend when you order both of these, you order them with the extended hook, just to make sure you're going to get the hook long enough, because mine came originally with like half and you couldn't do anything with it. So just make sure you order with the extended hook. And you can find the links down below this video. Also, I have a group on Facebook called Crochet for the Masses, and we share projects that we're working on at the time, ask questions. It's a fun place to go. I hope I see you over there. You can find the link down to that group also below this video. So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching.